last night, everybody's singing your song. I said, eh? Boy, I dropped my school bag so quick.
Yes, so OBO1 over them all. We see you. My people, Davido in his recent interview called his timeless album, which is the number 2 among all, Miracle. My people, before we get into the video properly with Davido, before we enjoy the interview, because the interview was so hilarious and so lit. Please remember to subscribe and let's dive into the video, guys.
Nobody had their cameras out then. What's going on?
What's up? What's up, my people? How you doing today, man? What's good?
All right, David, I want to start with a comment here, which is, I don't know what the definition you define as a superstar, but you know what I define it? A guy who shows up 30 minutes late and nobody leaves. Welcome to Botswana.
Thank you. You know, I had a concert last night in Nigeria, so literally from the stage, I went straight to the plane. So
No, we appreciate the effort.
pardon me. And then when I landed, I was like, yo, I have to come in smelling fresh, so I got to take a shower, you know what I'm saying?
You look good, smell good, did we get you a police escort? Is that it? No, you did it yourself? All right.
Botswana is safe.
That's what, no, I was talking about speed. I was talking about traffic. Now, Botswana's super safe. Well, welcome, and we're glad. Now, we're here. It was your first concert in Nigeria with the new album?
Yes,
Last
yes,
night.
first
So
one with the new
you're off
album.
a high right now, right?
Yeah, crazy.
So the new album, Timeless,
Timeless.
last I checked, was the number 2 album in the world on the global Billboard charts. Is that true?
Crazy.
Who's number 1? Did you see? I didn't.
Yo, it's some guy, he's a country singer. I don't even know where he's from. But he's so big. Yeah, it was so big. I was trying to reach out to him, like, yo, can I be number 1 for one day?
Just 1 week. Well,
But, we thank God, all in all, you know what I'm saying? We thank God.
so tell us how the comeback has been.
Man, the comeback, I call this album like the miracle album, you know what I'm saying? 4 months, I was on my couch, you know what I'm saying, watching, I've been on the high for about 12 years, non-stop, touring, dropping music, being active, and then to just have that break, you know what I'm saying? It was like God put a full stop to everything I was doing. Like, yo, go sit down. You know what I'm saying? For 6 months, and just watching everybody live their lives, and just living in a different momentum. It's crazy. I never thought I'll be able to sit here. I never thought I'll be able to get on stage and do what I used to do. I thought it's never going to be the same, So for it to just be successful just like this, it's a miracle to me.
Just for context, for those who don't know, Davido lost his son tragically, and was off for 6 months. How, so first, as a father, my condolences. I can't imagine how hard that is. Obviously, that had to change you as a person. Have you come back now as a performer differently?
Somebody asked me that earlier too. I'd say maybe performance-wise, I wouldn't say it's really changed me, but I'd say like 2 years ago, if you came to my backstage, it's like a party. You know what I'm saying? It's like a club. But if you saw my backstage yesterday, stuff is more organized. I had a lot of time to think and reflect, You know what I'm saying? So I made a lot of changes. Performance-wise, when I get on stage, I'm still the same Davido, always been. But, if you look at, the way our procedure, our process now, the production, I'll say it's been more matured because, we've had time to think, and I've had time to realize that, God gave me this gift, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to waste the opportunity, that God has given us. And Afrobeats now is at a world-class stage. It's not the same as 2 years. We can't just, before when we, do concerts, we just, put the CD in the thing, put on the speakers, get the mic, and, people are going crazy. But now, from the creative director, from the production, from the sound, it's crazy. We're spending so much money just to not only to make it look good, but to put it, up there with R&B, pop, stuff like that. They spend a lot on production. So yesterday, going on tour, this tour that I'm about to embark on, I'm thinking more of how I'm going to make the culture look very good rather than how much I'm going to get in my pocket.
He was, so Timeless has been streamed, last I checked, almost 160 million times, but almost 60 million of those came from the US. So when you talk about Afrobeats being, even a couple years ago, Afrobeats was, the music, popular in Africa. And you're right, it's become a genre where 40% of your traffic's in the US and majority of the traffic's outside Africa. So that's a statement.
And definitely, like even like for me, I went to college in America and coming from directly from Africa. I came from Nigeria at 16, directly to Alabama in America. So imagine just flying in direct. I remember landing and like when I was like picking my classes in school, like registering in the dorm, they came to me like, "Yo, where are you from?" I was like, "Nigeria." They were like, "How did you get here?" Like, I'm like, "You want to know how I got here?" So you know what I'm saying. So people, the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I've lived in the Western world, I've lived in Africa. And let me tell you, growing up in the Western world, they don't really give the knowledge that Africa, is somewhat kind of developed. You know what I'm saying? So for me to learn, and it's like 2011, 2010. So for me to land somewhere and the person didn't even know that we had an airport in Nigeria to transport me from Nigeria to, that's then. You know what I'm saying? So they don't educate them about, you know what I'm saying? But now it's way different. You know what I'm saying? Now when you say, "Oh, where you from?" "I'm from Nigeria." "Oh, I love Nigerian music." "Oh, I love African food." "Oh, I love African clothes." So now it's different, you know what I'm saying? So everything is changing.
The political term for that is soft power. America obviously has been the dominant country of the last 100 years, and yes, it's an economic powerhouse, but it's Hollywood that made America ubiquitous, where if you see every movie and every TV show seem to be made in America, and it spread American culture, and that's kind of what you're doing here, and you're making, and also you're empowered by streaming, where it used to be you would have a record contract here, and you'd have to get you would be like, "Oh, I'll get something in the African," you get a contract, a secondary contract, but now streaming is universal. Does that change how you make music? The fact that your music that you drop here can be, you don't have to only drop it and drop a record or an album in this region, but you're broadcasting to the world.
The streaming era right now is just crazy. You can make a song in your bedroom in somewhere, let's just say in Nairobi, in Kenya, somewhere in an apartment, nobody knows. And you press send and you release the song. Do you know these days you can go to bed and wake up a superstar. All you need is, even like with TikTok, like all you need is one, it could be anything. Somebody could walk and trip and it becomes funny and it becomes a thing. So right now, like before when we're making music, we're like even we're making this album, we're like, "Oh, you know what I'm saying, we're making music for the ears and stuff like that." But now you're making music like, "Yo, how can we be creative with this song?" You know what I'm saying? That's how you have like challenges now and stuff like that. So now music is not only about music, you know what I'm saying? The creative process is now more dynamic because there's so many elements. Now you have to promote. Before, all you have to promote is like on radio, you have print press, you do interviews, TV. Now there's like 20 apps that you have to promote. Do you understand? So, and all the apps have engagements, they have a following. So,
But David, you bring up a great point, which is when you're saying you're being creative and you can just drop something at night and the next day it's a hit. Even when you got started 10 years ago, you had to get somebody, or 12 years ago, you had to get somebody else to give you a record contract. When you say you could promote, before you had to get some TV show or something to let you on. You had to let somebody let you make the record. Now you make the song and you publish it yourself. You promote it yourself with your platforms. So again, that must maybe tell us the arc of your career, because you've seen your career exactly overlaps with the change in the music industry. So tell us how you got your big break and how it's changed to now.
so my big break, like
Or maybe you made your big break, but how did you become Davido?
so I used to be a producer mainly. Like I always wanted to be like in the background of things. So I used to have an older cousin. He was like the musician of the family. He was the older cousin. I was the last born. I'm the last born of my family. I've always been the youngest. But then I was very, very good with like computer, tech, stuff like that. So when he told me that, oh, he does music, I quickly went to go and learn how to record music from YouTube. I learned from YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So I bought like a computer, the program and everything. Then I started learning on YouTube. Then I started recording people. So I started recording artists, stuff like that. So one of my cousins that was always with me every time in the studio, he noticed that like if you're an artist and you're in the studio and I'm recording you, if the artist made a mistake, you always notice that I'd always give the artist like, I'm like, okay, don't sing it like that. Sing it like this. Sing it this way. It will catch their ears more this way. So over time doing that, I noticed that I was like, yo, I'm better than everybody that I'm recording. So over time then, I was just like, you know what, maybe I should record a song. So the first song I ever recorded blew up. No, that was the second one. The first one, Davido blew up in like Africa and everywhere, but like the first one like blew up locally, like in Lagos, Nigeria.
What was it?
It's called Back When. So,
I
so
guess
that
man.
one was. I was in school. I was in college because I had moved back to Nigeria, but my dad sent me to like the village, a school in the village, far away. So he'd only let me come back every other week to Lagos to do music. So the deal was, you know what I'm saying, I can do music, but I got to finish school, you feel me? So I was doing that. So one day my boy called me. He was like, because I dropped the song and I went to school, so I don't even know what's going on. There was no social media like now where somebody can just send you a snap like, oh, I was in the club. They went crazy to your song. So my guy went for the weekend and came back on a Monday. So I'm walking to class like realizing that, okay, I think I want to fully do music. So I left school for a bit and then went to focus on that. And then every love parties. But my dad is just very, very adamant on education. No matter, I don't win 100 Grammy.
Learn from him and his business career, if anything, that you've applied to your music and creative career, which is also business career, but different.
I mean, it's still, you know, business. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we get in a lot of arguments because, you know, showbiz is different from a normal person's life that's just doing business. Like, for example, I might be in Italy and then maybe he just sees like a caption, oh, Davido buys this $300,000 watch. Come, why are you wasting my money? I said, Daddy, you understand. Do you understand why inspiring people? Do you understand?